Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gap Perspective with Haley and Janet. Hey Janet,
Hey, Hale, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's a beautiful day today.
I know, right? I love it.
Mhm.
Okay, today we're welcoming a young man who is not only tackling complex circuits, but also crushing his fitness goals. He's a dedicated electrical engineer major over at the incredible North Carolina A&T State University, and he's got a serious passion for all things health and wellness. Get ready to hear his insights and balancing demanding academics with a commitment to fitness, a challenge many of us can relate to. Please put your virtual hands together for the brilliant and energetic Tendai Motsi. Welcome to Gap Perspective, Tendai.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome. We're glad to
Thank you.
have you also.
Awesome, awesome. How's everyone doing today?
What?
Good, thank
Very
you.
good, very good.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with questions that I have for you. So, my first question is, what made you choose your specific college and major?
Well, it actually started a couple years back. My college journey hasn't been a normal one, I would say. I started off at Virginia State University before I attended A&T, and throughout my time there, I was taking business classes, and I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do yet. Just getting my feet wet in college, and I had a couple of good friends that I knew that helped me throughout my journey that led me to the path down engineering. I had a friend that was attending A&T at the time, and he told me that it would be a great opportunity for me to sharpen my skills. So I took a year and I went there. I transferred over, and throughout my time there, I was able to find my passion and what I wanted to do. And through that patience and resilience, I was able to pick my engineering major.
Great.
Um,
That's pretty interesting.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Do you think, given your advice to other people your age that are entering college, that they should start out with something more general? I mean, like yourself, you went thinking that you loved one thing, correct? And
Yeah,
it ended up that was not your passion.
yeah,
So,
that's right.
do you recommend, or what would you recommend for young folks today as they're entering college? Do you think they should take more of a general course or a liberal arts course, something to get the feel of what they have passion about?
Absolutely. I feel like if you don't know what you want to do yet, I definitely think you should take it slow. Definitely get in, if you want to take an arts class or an arts major or even business like I did, just to really find what you want to do because it does take time. Not everybody has it figured out when they go to college. So I agree. Definitely taking some time to figure that out is good. And I feel like once you take more classes, you meet new people and you get the experience, you're able to really find out, who you are and what you want to do.
Okay. Thank you. Haley, I think I interrupted your next question.
Oh, no, it's okay. You
It
could always
seems like
jump
I
in.
asked that question. I was on to the next thing in my mind. So I
No, I
apologize if
always
I went
want
ahead
you to
of
jump in
Okay.
as well. Okay. What's been the biggest surprise or adjustment you've had to make since starting college?
I'd definitely say my routine has changed. Since I'm a senior now, it's definitely changed dramatically. My first couple years of college wasn't as bad. I would say, I'm just getting in there. So, I'm having fun, I'm meeting people, I'm doing all the young stuff, partying a little bit, getting a little, crazy. But, as time progressed, I've definitely matured. And I would say what changed for me has been my time, my work ethic, getting up early. It's, the late nights, the early mornings, things like that. That's really shaped me to who I am. So I would say what has changed for me has been my drive, my mindset, and things that, I'm passionate about. And, my major in fitness has definitely been something that's kept me stable throughout this process of my college years.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. Janet, do you have anything to add?
No, Haley, you could go. You can continue.
Okay. My next question is, what advice would you give to a high school student who is about to start their college journey?
Ooh, I like that question. I would say my number one advice to a high school student that is going into college is be patient and don't think that you're gonna over in your university and just crush it the first year. Some people are able to do that. Some people have that mindset. Some people are able to go in and get straight A's and 4.0 GPAs, but it's tough. It's an adjustment. It's something you really have to think about and learn from. It's I always say this, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're not gonna go in there and crush it automatically. Sometimes it takes discipline, it takes time to really figure it out. But if you're able to, that's great. But be patient with it. Take your time and find out what works for you. And don't be scared don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to ask people who have done it before for advice. Because that's something that I definitely wish I did more of when I was coming up. Just asking the right questions and being in the right spaces.
Now, did you have any mentors during your college journey or didn't just kind of go with the flow on your own?
I had a few people that were a little bit ahead of me. I would say like in terms of grade level. Um, I wouldn't say I had a specific mentor I would go to, but I definitely had friends that I could rely on. So that helps at times when you have people you could speak to. But if you don't, I would say, counseling. If you have a counselor, speak to that individual if you need help, or, meet somebody that you trust on your campus or on your grounds and ask the right questions. If don't be scared to walk up to somebody and ask a question. That's what I always say. Because that person you might learn something from that person may learn something from you. So if you feel like, you don't know everything and, you need help, ask. So that's my advice for that.
That's very good advice. I've always felt that way because I think if you don't ask questions sometimes, you look foolish when you try to accomplish something and you have no knowledge of what you're doing. You look more foolish than if you did ask someone their
Yep.
opinion or their experience. I agree with you 100%. In any category in life,
Mm,
ask questions if you don't know.
absolutely.
Yes, me too. I like your answer. My next one is, when did you first become interested in fitness and what sparked that interest?
Oh man, fitness goes back to even before college. I would say when I was probably 6 years old. I've had a passion for sports my entire life since I was born. And that really got me into the flow of it. I played some basketball when I was younger, some football, I was into different things. When I got to college, it became more of a mandatory thing. It kind of helped my mental a lot. It's something that gets me through days, those days where I don't feel my best self. I feel like fitness is a way to get out my anger or get out my, frustration, sadness, whatever I'm feeling, and just leave it all out there, and it's also a good way to build your body, build your mind and mental state. And those are the things that I'm very passionate about. And it's, helped me throughout my journey, um, through life.
Great. Awesome. How do you find the time and motivation to stay active while juggling college responsibilities?
Ooh, that's a good one. I say prioritizing what's important, like I mentioned earlier. Because yeah, you do want to have fun and you do want to, experience things. Um, Depending on what your major is, depending on what you pick, certain things require more time. And for me, what I'm doing in school, it requires a lot of my time and focus. My major is something that's really difficult. So I would say if you want to have the college experience, if you want the good college experience, pick something easy because you really have to focus. If you want to be successful, you have to focus. That's the bottom line. So I would just say prioritize what's important to you and balance that. Make a schedule if you have to. Write down notes if you have to. Be prepared for for that time where you're gonna have fun, but I may have to get up early in the morning and take that 9 a.m. class. Just be mindful that you're not overdoing it.
Well, don't you agree that what you put into it is what you get out of it, so to
Yes.
speak,
Yes, that
right?
that's so true. Yes.
Yeah.
What you give is what you get. Yes.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean, in the first year of college, I think it could be a party time until you realize I'm not here just to party. I have my whole life ahead of me
Hmm.
that I need to really focus on now. Now I'm becoming a grown up and I have
Yeah.
to act like one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
Hmm.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Some people learn faster than others, and some people it takes them more time. But regardless on your journey is your journey. And whatever you go through in life, it builds you. So
That's
don't let
I like
failure set
that.
you back either. Yeah. Don't let failure set you back. Just stay focused on the mission and trust God.
No, because with every failure, it's an experience,
Yes.
I
Mm,
feel. And
I agree.
you should learn by your failures and your
Mhm.
experience. So you become better at what you do or your mindset,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
You agree, Haley?
Yes, I 100% agree. I feel like the comeback is much greater than the setback.
I
Yes.
like that. Yes,
Absolutely.
that's
That's
a
a good
good
one.
one.
Yeah, I like
That's a
that
good
too.
one. I like that too.
Very good.
Uh-huh. You have to make that your quote, Haley. I like it.
Um, Ken, what advice would you give to other college students who want to incorporate more fitness into their lives?
That's easy. I would say just start. Just start. Because what a lot of people do is they feel like they have to have this crazy routine when they start, right? Like, oh, I have to get up at this time and like work out for 2 hours and then go, eat this. No, no, no. Just start. It takes, like I said, we spoke about this earlier. Everything takes time. So if you don't put your feet out there, if you're not doing it, you're never going to know. So I would say put in the effort. If you're starting out slow, if you want to work out maybe 30 minutes a day, if you want to start out with doing push-ups, 30 push-ups a day, do that. Do whatever works for you in your situation, because everybody's situation is different. You might not have a gym that's close to you. You might not have transportation, and that's okay. Just make it work. But definitely just put in the attempt. The attempt is what's important. I feel like if you start somewhere, the sky's the limit. So you just got to really just push yourself. Even if it's hard at first, it will ease up once you're more consistent with it.
I definitely agree with you because when I first started my own fitness journey, I wasn't seeing the results right away.
Mhm.
And then just as, my mental was getting better as I was going, I just learned like as long as you show up and you put the work in, it may take some time, but
Mhm.
you end up seeing the result as long as you stay consistent.
Exactly. And if you don't see the results right away, that's fine too. It's all about consistency and dedication and persistence. So,
Even the difference between the Gen Z, you guys, and myself, the baby boomer, I
mhm.
have the same difficulty. I'm older, but I want to exercise. And Haley knows that I walk, but some days I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or even I lift weights, not no major weights, but some weights to just keep my muscles stronger.
Mhm.
But it's a struggle. It's always a struggle. And like you said, Ten, if you don't just start it, once you start, you feel better. You feel like, all right, I did it. I'm doing it. It's just
Mhm.
getting to that point of starting to do it. It's the difficult part. So you got to
Absolutely.
push yourself. Yeah.
Yep.
No matter what
Absolutely.
age you are. Now, there's no difference in you guys and me as far as that goes. Probably
Yes.
with me, it's even worse because I'm older and I'm, a little bit like, what am I going to do that for? But it does extend life, I believe, so. I would think you agree with me, Ten. Um,
Absolutely.
and according to all the statistics in the world, they say that it's very good for your mental and your physical well-being, no matter what age you are. Mhm.
Absolutely. And never compare yourself to a lot of people. They see people, especially my generation, I could speak for Gen Z. We see, people who are more fit than us and are doing more than us, and we feel we have to, catch up in a way. Like, this is what I have to look like right now because this person is my age, and I want this. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes, your journey is just different, and you might start out a little slower than other people, but the goal is to not compare yourself. Never compare, never contrast. Just stay focused on what you're going through and what you have going on, and everything else will play out. Perfect.
My son is into physical fitness also, and he goes to the gym. And like you said, he's not always saying, "Oh, I have to do it for 45 minutes." He'll do heavy weight for less time, but gets the same result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of doing 100 weights at 50 pounds, he'll do 10 of them at 250 pounds, and it ends up being the same. Like that's what he does, but that's not what you might do or the person next to you. Whatever fits the person, you're
Mhm.
saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now diving into the main topic of this month, which is mental health, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I just have, 3 questions around that. So, my first one is, have you personally experienced any mental health challenges during your time in college? If comfortable sharing, how did you navigate them?
Yeah, I've definitely I've had a few mental health challenges in my time in college. I've the Bible and God has definitely helped me during my journey. I've read scriptures, pastures, I've meditated, things like that has definitely helped me. Obviously we mentioned working out earlier, but the spiritual aspect of things I think has kept me grounded. In terms of sharing anything, I guess I could bring up a few or just one situation. I mean, I've had people I was close to that I've lost in college, girlfriends, friends, things like that, people that were close to me. I mean, it happens, right? You're gonna meet people and sometimes you trust them and sometimes, you that's what college is about. You learn things about people and you see people for who they really are. So I think just things like that has molded me a little differently. I'm able to like see um, signs earlier in people. Um, but definitely staying grounded has been an important thing for me, I think. Um, but yeah, like I had mentioned earlier, it's all about being grounded and yeah, that's all I could say on that. Just being
Do you
grounded.
think that it's like you said with breakups with friendships or people? I'm
Mm.
assuming you mean breakups or separations,
Yeah,
whatever the
separations.
case is.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard? I know I do. When you do find out a person is not the person you thought they were,
Yes.
I
Mm,
Yes.
find it
That
difficult
hurts.
yes.
sometimes, though.
That hurts the
And I
most.
say, is there something wrong with me that I don't
No,
want to
yeah.
accept that? I see
Yeah.
it, but I don't want to accept it. So what am I going to do? Let them keep talking
Hmm.
to me that way or not being on time, whatever the case may be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That
You
definitely
find
hurts.
that, isn't that a challenge?
It is. It is a challenge because they'll show you one side in the beginning. You think everything's good. They're nice to you. They're showing up. You're like, oh yes, I'm getting consistency from this person. And then all of a sudden, bam, changes. And then now you're like, okay, what's going on? Did I do something wrong? Is it me? And then that's where the mental health things start coming in, where you start thinking less of yourself based on other people. And I think that's something that people should change as well. Is it's not sometimes it's not you, it's them. Don't change yourself for somebody else just because they don't like you or just because something isn't going right. Like be yourself always. That's always something that you should do. Is just be yourself and the right people will come into your life.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you.
I agree as well. And I feel like the best form of self love the best form of love is self-love. Dang it. Mixed up my sentence there.
It's okay.
You're
You're
right
right.
though.
If you don't
Yeah,
love yourself, you can't love someone else.
exactly.
And if you allow people to treat you in a certain way, then you're definitely not loving yourself. You
That's
Yeah.
have to
right.
let go of those people, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like those moments that question our worth and things like that and just mess with our mental also build us in a way and make us stronger.
hmm
And, we're gap perspective. So I'm talking to you Gen Zers, but my generation, we have the same problem. There is no gap there.
Yeah.
I have friends that I have to let go because of a certain reason or because we just outgrew each other. So there is really no gap between you and us in this category.
Yeah. I
You
agree.
know, yeah,
I
we
think
might
so
have a
too.
different outlook on life or something, but as far as friends and feelings go, it's exactly the same. So there is no gap. That's something we could agree on. There is no gap as far as that goes. I have a question for you, Ten. Um,
Mhm.
I hope you don't mind. You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
That's fine.
Um,
I'll answer.
do you experience any sort of panic attacks or anything like that?
Uh, I wouldn't say panic attacks, but I have experienced a few moments where I feel caved in. Maybe it's because I've I'm alone half the time. I'm usually by myself. I have roommates where I'm currently at, but I do have those moments where I feel boxed. I wouldn't say panicking, but definitely like kind of confined in my space. And that kind of forces me to go out a little bit more, get some sun, or that kind of reminds me to take a walk or just do something for my mental to keep me sane through it all. But I can definitely attest to that. I think people that's definitely something that's not talked about enough is that
Is that being lonely? Is that what you're trying to say? Is it about being lonely?
I would kind of in a way because what I do, my work is very isolating. I'm just gonna say that it's very isolating. It's so time consuming. It's a lot of studying. So I have moments where I have to be alone for a long period of time, and that forces me to be alone. So yes, I would say loneliness takes its toll sometimes, for
Yes,
sure. Yeah,
that's true.
definitely.
But I think you have it handled pretty well. That you go out and you take care of it mentally. You go out, you exercise, you walk, you talk to people or whatever it is that you do. That's a good thing. Seem
I
to have
appreciate
it
that.
together. Mhm.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do my best. I'm not perfect, but nobody is. But
Nobody is.
you can only do your best. Yeah. So
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
just like everybody else who's listening right now. So I'm sure some people can relate, and that's great. That's what
Mhm.
this is about.
That's right.
Yeah.
My last question for you, Ken, would be what message would you want to share with other young men in college about the importance of mental health?
I would say don't think because you're a guy that you don't have feelings, or because that's something that I had to learn the hard way. Because I've grew up around a lot of tough people and people who have just these strong minds. And what I didn't know is what it takes to get that strong mind. It takes a lot of pain, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let your feelings be heard and talk to people. Because a lot of the time, what us guys like to do, we like to hold everything in and not speak, and we think that we're just men, and we have to go through life with this iron fist, and everything's okay, and I have no emotions. But it's not true. You're gonna feel something. You're gonna be hurt. You're gonna be sad, and that's okay. So all the men out there that are listening, it's okay to be vulnerable. Yes, you have to have a way that you move in this world, and that's okay too. But don't be afraid to voice that or get help or speak to somebody. If you need a therapist, that's what they're there for. If you need to speak to your family or somebody you trust, it's okay. It's okay. So and just know that you're not alone as well. I'm experiencing the same things you are when it comes to emotions and mental health. So just know you're not alone, and you don't have to be a macho tough guy to get through life. It's okay. You can relax a little bit. That's my advice there.
Yeah.
I like it. Thank you.
Me too. That's excellent advice for young people and everybody, not just young people.
Of course.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to show your feelings or let someone know you're having a hard time.
Yeah, like if you're not having a good day, yeah, like you can say, "Oh, I'm not feeling well today." Like, a lot of guys they try to like sweep it under the rug how they're feeling, and it's sometimes that's not good because it can make it worse. It can make how you're feeling worse, and you will never heal from it. So you have to be real with yourself sometimes and just sit down, ask yourself what it is that you want and how you feel. So like,
Or it can make the person angry and it could cause them to do something they shouldn't have done.
exactly. Yep.
Like if they're in a grocery store or they're in road rage, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden they get out of the car and they punch the other person because they're mad at the world that day.
Exactly. You're
So
right.
people,
Mhm.
have to learn to deal with whatever it is they're dealing with in a more constructive way or
Absolutely.
speaking to someone.
Exactly. Exactly. Great way to put it there.
Mhm. For sure.
Mhm.
Well, I think you're an inspiration to many young men, and I would be proud of you if you were my son. Even though you're not my son, I'm very proud of you and what you've
Thank you.
accomplished. And I
Thank you
wish
so
you
much.
nothing but good luck and success and good health in your life. And thank you for being on with us and sharing your thoughts.
And likewise, and vice versa. Thank you guys for having me on the show, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Thank you guys so much
It's a
for everything.
pleasure.
Thank you, Ken, for
Thank you.
coming on. We're gonna wrap up the show now, guys. Thank you to our listeners for listening to this week's episode of Gap Perspective with Haley and Janet. Thank you so much, Ken. I feel like our conversation was very deep and insightful. And thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you again. Good luck to you.
And thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Holding hands with my anxiety. It's so hard at times, I feel like I can't